Well, aloha and good morning, everyone. In a sense, it's really strange, dude. When we begin one of these groups, I'm so honored that you're here, and I can't really explain to you the level of passion that I live with around this art. It's so amazing for me to have known, many of you for a long time, and getting to know you as you go through this journey, and it's like, I get to see the Gandalfs. I see the Legolas. I see Boromir. I see Frodo. I see all of this in mythos, in mythology. And there's so much information out there in the world right now. There's so much human design flying around and discussions about this thing and that thing and whatever. That it's good and bad at the same time. It's good that all that information is available. It's bad because people are totally getting lost in their minds. So this trying to bring it back to what this journey is about. It's only about one thing. It's only about one thing. It's about you learning to make decisions about your life from your body instead of your mind. That's it. Anybody that's trying to do any fortune telling or whatever with this information, they're just off. That's not it. You cannot know what's going to happen. You can know how to fly the ship. You can discover what your life means. And that's the journey. The journey is to your own mythology. To your own epic adventure, discovering who and what you are, how you are. And you can't know it. That's what's so cool, is you can't possibly know it. And when you get there, you go, oh my God. These were my fantasies when I was a kid. I thought I was some crazy wizard. Well, you know what? Me personally, it turns out it's not too far off, First of all, you look out there at life and you see people, how much energy. And what I want each of you to do right now is just, if you can, contemplate how much energy you spend, or the people around you spend, trying to figure out what they should do, where they should go, who they should be with. Think of the enormous amount of energy that's wasted in this machinations of the mind that do not matter. The mind was not designed to run your life. This is what we learned through human design. This is a form principle. This is how to make decisions with the form. Look at people's lives. What are they doing? Trying to figure out, should I marry this guy? Should I take this job? Should I? Sometimes the momentum of the stream of thought is so much, it's like you can get no space from it. So be honest with yourself at the beginning of your process, or wherever you're at this point. It's like, how much of my life is spent trying to figure out which way I should go, who I should be with, what I should do. For many of you, this is how the journey unfolds. For whatever reason, you have some, for lack of a better word, karma with human design. You have a destiny with it. The world seems to quit working for you. It's not fulfilling. I tell my own story about having money and a pretty girlfriend and a nice house and a car and feeling so completely empty. It's like, it's just not working. Another girl is not going to fix me. More money is not. You get to that point, it's not working. And I don't mean you have to have a lot of anything to see that. It's just like, it's almost as if the program starts to break down around you. There's glitches in the matrix, if you will. Something's not right. And you start to fall out of the conditioned flow of life. That's what happens. You start to fall out. And then somehow, some way, magically, human design appears in your life. It comes to you. I don't really think anybody chooses this. I mean, there's a lot of people that would like to be able to do this that I don't think can embody it. Other teachers get mad at me when I say that, but I don't think it's for them. I don't think that human design is for everyone. I don't think that this knowledge, but if it is for you, it finds you. And that moment is magical. I mean, I was sitting at a table in El Salvador drinking a beer after surfing on a surf trip, and someone goes, I think you should check this thing out. I mean, how it comes to you. It's like, what? Okay, I guess. We get back, I'll get the guy's number. It still took a month or so, but it's like, dude, somehow uniquely through your fractal, it comes to you. It came to me through a manifester. I was informed. John, I know you. Somehow I just have this sense this will be for you. But maybe this is, and it doesn't mean when you meet human design, it's going to happen this way. It's like, there's a place where it's almost like you become pregnant. I couldn't think of a better analogy than that. Like something begins growing in you. And at this point, we can have the discussion of whether or not there's any choice or not. For the moment, for this particular discussion, I want you to pretend there's a choice. And pretend that if you're here listening to me and you and I have some, for lack of a better word, because I don't like these words, some karma, some destiny. Our flight paths are here to intersect for some period of time. Even if it's just for you to hear this recording, I could care less. That there's something here for you. It appears in your life. And the whole thing starts to break down. And that if there's a choice, I would like you to make the most radical choice you're capable of. I want you to pretend at least, because there's a lot of tricking the mind involved here. Part of what I'm going to do today is teach you how to trick your own mind. Pretend you have a choice and pretend you're going to be very radical about it, okay? I mean, whatever you have to do. There are lots of movies I recommend, But what happens to most people at first, they discover the information, they believe, because in every other practice that we have on this planet, educating yourself about it is usually the way to go. Because why? Because most people are trying to use their mind and what they know to navigate their life. So you discover human design, overwhelming libraries, classes everywhere, this thing, variables, transits, this, that, colors, tone, base, that, it's overwhelming. I mean, that's why I'm so glad. I love doing these trainings, these year-long trainings with you, because, we can learn a little piece of information each week, and then we can bring it home. And then we can talk about how it's working in your process a little bit, and then bring it home. The mind is not a problem as long as it's not trying to run your life. But when you meet the system of human design, it's overwhelming. Floors you. There's so much. I mean, and you get into it like I am, however many, well more than a decade, maybe getting close to a decade and a half. And it's like, I look at 43-year patterns and see the accuracy of them. It will blow your mind. The information can break your mind down to help see that it is not running this thing. However, what it cannot do is ever know how you are to meet life. That's very much a body's journey. So, at first, of course, everybody finds this. I need more classes. I need to know more. I need to understand more. Should I sign up for more training, more this, more that? This is, this is why I offer my crazy Jedi warrior school, because it's like, it's not about understanding it all. It's about learning the basics of how the form works for you. Mastering those basics. Whether or not you learn all this stuff, who cares? You know how to fly your spaceship. The mind then, deeply conditioned, right? What it starts trying to do, it starts trying to navigate your life with human design. It's like, oh, I'm a projector. I'm here to be invited. I was invited. And you start trying to push yourself along. I mean, there's this one projector. I mean, this slide reminds me of. It's like, oh my God! It's like it looks like she's wearing a helmet. Like if there was such a thing as a manifestor helmet, that's what it would look like. Like this football helmet or something. And like she was here for an immersion with Marianne, and for 3 or 4 hours, one afternoon, I saw that helmet come off. It looked like for that 3 or 4 hours, she wasn't trying to push her life with her head. And the very next day, it looked just like this picture again. I said, damn. I thought she got it, but she got a taste of it. You know, the gift of me being around Marianne is she's much more patient with everyone than I am. She's trying to instill some sense of grace in me that just as we are not in control of anything, we're certainly not in control of what somebody else's process looks like, you know. And then we have those people that want to then tell you how you're supposed to live your design. Well, you need to be doing this. You need to be doing that. We can never know someone's truth. We cannot. I mean, can I tell if somebody's talking to me from their body or their mind? Yes. Do I know what's right for them? No. Can I see things that I think would be really important for people to know, to understand, to see about what's going on in their process and what open center is conditioning them and how they're going about meeting? Yes. No different than surfing. If you've been surfing a bunch of years, you can look at a guy and you can see, oh, well, you know, I could see how, you know, he could ride that board a bit better. I could see how he could meet that wave better. Riding a bike, playing football, I assume. Any sport, I assume, right? You know, if you've done it for a long time, you can see physically, it's just off. You know, you're a little off balance there. That's what coaches are. That's why I love being, you know, the human design coach. I don't like that word coach because everybody's a fucking coach today, but whatever. you know, I like whatever. I don't actually like any of the words. I don't like teacher. I don't like guru. I for sure don't like guru or coach or whatever, you know. I'm here to train you. You know, maybe that's the best thing. But you don't start telling people how it's supposed to be, what they're supposed to do. And look for this. This is going to be a part of your process. You know, you start to see things. You start to see how things work. You're going to want to tell someone, I'm really suggesting, unless they've asked, even if you're a manifester, unless you're really clear in your authority that they need to hear it, I'm really suggesting you all just shut the fuck up. Because it doesn't matter what anyone else does. Doesn't matter if your partner's completely initiating out of his mind. You be correct. It's none of your business what's going on around you. You be correct. It's the only thing you need to be worried about is you being correct. And you know who's most guilty of this is projectors. Because we see out, we are the most guilty of trying to help others by what we see. And do we see it? Yes, we see it. Is it the right time? Is it the right place? Did somebody ask? Are you really correct? Is it really correct for you to share? You know, this is what you need to be paying attention to. So sometimes, you know, in this wall of information, in this wall of mind, we catch a little glimpse. You know, in those of you that have done psychedelics, or those of you who haven't, it's those like little satori moments where you see how things work. It's like you get the little glimpse. It's like a little jewel comes through, a little spark of light. You see it, and you see like, oh, there's this possibility out there. There's a world outside of this blockage. It's like this whole thing is like, it's like mud is just covering the windows of the vehicle. You know, all of those open centers are like your little windows, and like you can't even see out. The mud is so thick, and your mind is the spokesperson for all of that mud. You know, when we give people a human design chart, we should not give it to them with white, nice, clean white centers. We should give it to them with mucked up chunks of mud that you can't even see through, because that's what it really is at first. Slowly but surely, you begin to operate properly. You get little glimpses through the mud. You see through the delusion of mind. You start to get space between you and your mind. You start to see your truth. This is the witness. Those little moments as the witness, the watcher starts to awaken from its slumber. It's almost like waking out of a dream. You've been living in the dream of mind. There's a little, that little moment of second, you kind of awaken and then you go right back to sleep. You know, you kind of awaken. And remember, if there's a choice, dude, I'm asking you guys as intensely as you can not to be the person that turns over and grabs your blankie and pulls it back over your head, but to participate in the process of waking the witness out of the slumber, out of the dream state. You know, it's not a problem that everybody on the planet is walking around asleep. It's a problem that you're walking around asleep. If you want to get your life, that can be a problem. If you're listening to this, I assume that there's some drive in you. The virus is already taking hold. The form is starting to want its life back. The witness is stirring. If not, you wouldn't be listening to my dumbass. There would be no point. You know, you would be off doing whatever, and, keeping yourself nice, safely distracted with whatever your little blankie of choice is, your pillow, your teddy bear, whatever it is your little trip is, most people, or more money, or another vacation, or whatever makes you nice and comfy, keeps you nicely clouded and diluted. I mean, facing the stark reality that we actually know absolutely nothing, we are in control of absolutely nothing, is not for the faint of heart. I mean, this is not a journey that most humans are wired for. Many humans can get self-help from human design. They can lead little more peaceful lives. They can have a little better time with their trip. Maybe remove a little of the anxiety of the mind. Get some space. Perhaps. A little peace. But how many people are really here to see, 96% of the universe is dark matter. 96% of the universe and the people in it do not matter. Well, John, that's really harsh. Yeah, well, I think it's optimistic, to be honest. I don't know if 1% of the people actually matter. That doesn't mean I don't love my mother, or my brother, or my friends that are just friends. But I see that they're not wired for this. And so in the context of what this means as a form principle awakening, I just don't see it. Look, I'd love to be wrong. I would love to have the New Age version of, we're all going to wake up. Well, the only thing I see is a bunch of people talking about waking up, which looks like just more seeking, which looks like just one more self-help trip of trying to get somewhere. This is not about getting anywhere. We're not going anywhere. We're becoming something. There's no state that is better than that state. You are either watching your life or you're dreaming your life. Truly, it's that simple. People don't like it to be that simple. They want it to be more complicated. The mind always wants it to be more complicated because that way the mind can stay in control. And then you start to realize that all of the mental work to find a way out has been the trap. So you start studying your design and you're like, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And, your mind's still leading your life just further and further and further and deeper down the rabbit hole. Deeper and deeper into the mind is actually the one stacking the bricks and building bigger and bigger walls in the prison that you're in. That's what's happening. And it's okay. Because at some moment you're going to see that. That's why I don't necessarily get mad at people that just sit around and read human design books all day. I may give them a little shit. But, I see that for some people, that is what they need to do to get to the place where they can actually jump. We'll get to that here in a second. But, but you're going to see that at some point that if, this is no different than any other tool, the more I know, then it's going to help me. Not necessarily, and probably unlikely, It may be the less you know, the better off you're going to be. Or at least if the less you think you know would be a more appropriate way of saying that. And then there's that moment. And actually, to be honest, there's many moments when the unholy reality hits you that the only thing you can rely on is the vehicle. The only thing you can rely on is the vehicle. The only thing you can rely on is the vehicle. How your aura makes life. How it meets life. How it contains your energetic field. How it holds you together in the illusion of your separateness. And how you're pulled through space and able to navigate without the mind. This is where I laugh about the dark night of the soul. So, oh, really? Is there only one dark night? Oh, that'd be nice. There's only one night where my mind is losing it? Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, it's not really the way it works. I've gotten many emails from you this week, for many of you that are here this week. I know what's going on. I don't know exactly your recipe for your own madness, but I know the madness. I know the battle that's waging inside you, mind versus vehicle. I know how tempting it is to respond when it's easy, to sort of wait to be invited. Life can invite me, right? I mean, that was sort of an invitation. The vehicle, guys, the vehicle. This is all year. We got a year. If you leave here with nothing more than how to fly your vehicle, you are a Jedi Knight. That's it. I don't care if you know anything else but how to surf in my vocabulary now. You know how to surf at the end of the year. I could give a shit less whether you remember 1 inch of the oceanography reports. I don't care if you understand how the tide works. I don't care if you understand how storms create waves and, high pressure and low pressure. I don't care. You learn to surf here. This is a surfing school. This is a martial arts institute, huh? This is not a university. I am not here to teach you the system of human design. I'm here to teach you to be relentless in my pursuit of your perfection, my design, inspire you along the way, if I can, to keep returning to the form, to laugh when we fall down in the mud, to get up with the bumps and bruises, wipe yourself off, clean up your sword, and keep hiking. That's what I'm here to give you, nothing more. Many great teachers around me I'm happy to refer you to at the right time that can take you deeper into the information, Lynette and Hawk Sheila here in the classroom happen to be 2 of them. At first, the deconditioning can be overwhelming. There was a person, a dear friend of mine, the Halley Witch in, you guys may know her as Issa Maria in Hawaii, that did cartoons of me. The first 5 years of my experiment. I have nothing to prove. The deconditioning can be so overwhelming. I mean, every time you open your mouth, you realize it's complete bullshit coming out of your mouth. Me and my friend Paul used to talk about it. It's like, dude, it's like, I hear it. I hear myself doing the pattern. and we'll just stop mid-sentence. The deconditioning can seem so overwhelming at first, but then when you realize every time you see it, even if you're still doing it, the seeing of it. Yes, it's way better to not do it. It's way better not to make nice and play nice just because you're open emotional. It's way nice. It's great to not be trying to prove yourself. It's great to not make decisions under pressure. But if you do make a decision under pressure, or you initiate something, or you're pushing life, and you see it, that's all that matters. It can appear overwhelming and impossible at first. I know. Because all I was trying to do is quit proving myself. I only took this one little thing, this one center, and that was my entire focus. And what's even funnier is I was trying to prove myself by not proving myself. And this is where I'll start to talk to you as we get into your open centers. I'll tell you how to take the very conditioning that's holding you hostage and use it to free yourself. Like, I actually used my need to have people think that I was worthy to prove I could be a projector. I used my open ego is what I'm trying to say. My need to prove myself to undo my need to prove myself. This is where I'm going to teach you how to go to war with your mind. You know, and if people don't like that word, I don't care. Then you're not for me. Until it's sitting in the back seat and relaxed, trust me, it's a fucking war. You watch it for 24 hours and tell me it's your friend. You do this, it beats you up. You do that, it beats you. It tells you go right, and then it tells you go left. You go right, and then you get yelled at. I mean, it is not your friend, guys. I'm sorry. Later, it's an incredible asset. But if you're in it even the first decade of this, trust me, it is not your friend. Anybody that tells you differently is trying to sell you something they themselves do not possess because they have not broken free of it. They have learned to manage it. That's what self-help is. That's what The Secret is. That's what, all of this dream casting and wish spelling and all this crap. Intentions and all. Hey, you want to have a nice intention? Great. Just don't think it means anything. Until you break free of the mind running your life, you are in the only war worth fighting. The war for your own life. And then there comes that moment. There's that moment when you realize that you have jumped and that you are truly in freefall. I talked to my roommate Tom about this quite a bit. It's like, the people that get beat the worst are the ones that don't, they're trying to hang on to the cliff as they're falling down. I recommend a run and jump philosophy. Look, when it's your time, and I understand, you may need to sit up there on the cliff and contemplate when it's your time. It may not be your time. I'm not even sure you're in charge of the timing. But I have a certain way of meeting life that I've always met life that, launching myself into the abyss sounded like the best thing to do at the time. And then you realize you're in free fall. And that's when the journey really begins, guys. The rest of this is precursor. The journey begins when you finally let go of thinking you're in charge of anything. And you enter. Yeah, the only problem with this picture for human design is he has a parachute on. Our parachute is the grave. We free fall until we die. And any attempt to grab hold of the cliff is only going to cause you pain. Any attempt to navigate this vehicle other than right where it's going causes you pain, causes you anxiety, causes you frustration, causes you bitterness, causes you anger, causes you disappointment. And this is where the different relationship to the process emerges. You know, you came in however you came in. A lot of you came in from a seeking background. I get that. I get it. Self-help. I did more like the sales and self-help and, you know, writing my goals and putting them on the wall and actually getting them. You know, that's the other funny part is I'm not questioning the mind's ability to make a wish and get it. I'm questioning the mind's ability to get it right. And so a whole different relationship to this process emerges. Look, I know who is really in their process the same way. This is where I love Fight Club, the way that you don't talk about Fight Club. You don't talk about Fight Club. You only talk about Fight Club at Fight Club. So you see the friend that you know is in their process on the street and they've got a bruised eye and a battered, you know, they're all beat up and you can tell, man, they're frazzled. And it ain't looking so pretty, you know, but they're trudging through the snow by themselves. And thank God there's not a whole band of people trying to follow them, you know, or follow you. It's just you. And the war to take your life back, the ultimate battle. Will you get to be yourself? You need to get to a place where you're more afraid of not getting yourself than of anything life can throw at you. Does that make sense? It's like, I'm more afraid of not getting my life than any of the demons and dragons out here in this dark field where I'm trudging alone. One little spear to defend myself. Kind of projectorish. You know? But there's a whole different relationship between learning human design and living human design. When you're starting to live it, when this stuff is starting to unravel, you know, this is where all John's mud and blood pep talks are going to come in handy. You know? Fight while you can, rest when you have to, but get up and keep going. Further. This is where I love Jed. You know, I recommend Jed McKenna. I love the guy. He's the only guy that actually made any sense to me about how this process works. And I'm not advocating his process, but he got it. You're fighting for your life. You're trying to free yourself from a bondage that you don't even understand you're in. Most people are living in cages and just painting murals on the wall and telling us how beautiful their life is. It's like, dude, I look at them, I start giggling. And a new relationship to the conditioning emerges. It's almost like at this stage when you really get just how trapped you are, it's like it's anger is the only word that comes. Anger, it's like there's an anger. It's like you're just so pissed. You see that everyone else is trapped. You see that you're trapped. And I'm not ever advocating having a mean spirit, guys. I'm not advocating being a dick on purpose or being an asshole. I'm not advocating it. I'm saying that in your process, the type of intensity necessary to break free. You think of a rocket trying to break free of the Earth's atmosphere. The incredible energy required to break free. It's not peaceful. It's violent. It's explosive. But then once you're free, yes, you can find your grace again. But I've never seen a rocket or a missile or an airplane, even for that matter, gracefully take off. It's throttles all the way forward. It's explosive. You know, think of the amount of energy and violence, explosions to break you free. And then once you're free, of course, you can revisit the whole theme of whatever it is to be you. You know? But until you've broken free, dude, we're not here to work on anything. Maybe I better review that. We're not here to manage our egos or manage our minds or to do the guru-y, oh, I've got space around my thoughts. I don't care if you have space around your thoughts. I don't care if you are peaceful and nice to every sentient being on the planet. I don't care that you're a vegetarian. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's not going to help you wake up and get you. And more likely, it's all just your mental shit holding you hostage. What I care is that you start to develop your body's consciousness, and then there is nothing to work on. It's like, oh yeah, I listen to these guys. Even Eckhart Tolle, he helped me a lot in my process. But I listen to him now, and I'm like, yeah, that's his trip. Whatever. Whatever. Even Jed, I'm like, yeah, this, I agree with 80%. There's 20%. I'm like, yeah, shut up. It doesn't. It's like, once you get to you, who cares? Oh. Life as you know it starts to look like a madhouse. It looks crazy. People trying to get the job, seek enlightenment, find a better partner, get away from their partner. It's like, I love to go sit at the coffee house every day. I love it. It's like every day there's this incredible drama that's played out just for my benefit. And I sit there like a little kid clapping. Like a magician is making ponies disappear or something. It's really that sort of a relationship I have now with life. But I trust me, dude, it was not pretty. And some of you can speak to this. They may want to speak to this. It wasn't pretty. And Marianne said something very nice to me the other night. We went out for a little dinner. She took me to a place I would have never gone on my own anyway, but it was cute. And she's like, yeah, she's like, yeah, it just feels like something's finally switched for you. Lynette can definitely attest to this. She saw me just getting the shit beat out of me. But I wasn't buying back into the program. Life as you've known it looks like a madhouse. Running around, trying to do the errands, take care of the kids, get the job, get the degree, get the, whatever. It's like you can't even pretend that any of this is real. It's like, it looks like a fucking cartoon. You see what people are upset about. Oh, this is, I love living on the mainland because you would never do this shit in Hawaii. People honk at each other here. It's like, this is Sedona, right? It's one street, 6 stoplights, maybe 10. I don't know. Anyway, people are honking. It's hilarious to watch the human condition. It's funny. And I'm sure this is very mellow compared to, I won't even go to Phoenix. I'm afraid of Phoenix. I'm afraid of LA. I won't go to these places. I have my limits on what I'm willing to face, huh? But it looks like a madhouse. There's people chasing all these things, trying to get all these things, and it's just like a cartoon. And you start to awaken to it, it becomes funny. You're like, oh my God, that person's really upset about that. I got these emails last night about, somebody's mad at someone and they're yelling and screaming about something and they sent me what these people are posting on Facebook just as like, John, did you know about this? I'm like, hell no, I don't know about anything. And I was like, oh my God, dude, these people are human design people and they're just losing it. Dude, just because you know the word human design and can tell me you're a generator, it means nothing to me. Absolutely zero. And it should actually be a lot more important to you that you actually know how to meet life in response. You know exactly what it means to be a projector, the precision necessary to have elegance in each communication and have each communication be a martial art that you walk away from correctly. As a manifester, how you bring that impact. The perfection of the punch. When it's correct. Boom. How to push. When to push. The precision. You know? The surprise that can be there for the reflector. You know? We don't have them, any of you guys here today, but still, you know, what that looks like to really be able to watch and have nothing else to do, your relationship with the program. How does it all work? You know, projector, how does the other work? Reflector, how does it all work? Generator, how do I regenerate? I'm not worried about the promotion. I'm worried about my energy regenerating. It doesn't matter about who I'm with or where I'm going or what's happening as long as it's working. And you see that everyone else is trapped in their little trips about what they think they need to be doing with their life. Looks like a cartoon. May nauseate you. And I love this. This reminds me of, let's just say, some characters that are in the movie. You know? They have ideas for you. Oh, this is, you know, the teachers, the gurus, the even the human design experts. Oh, yes, I will now impart upon you the great knowledge that I have so that you can none bow at my feet, you know? And once again enslave yourself into a seven-centered pattern, you know? Look, guys, don't trust anyone. I don't. I don't trust anyone. I trust myself. You know, I can't even pretend that, like I said, you know, there's some authors, I read some of their stuff. Hey, that's good. I dig this. It might help you. It helped me. I dig that. Oh, yeah, this guy's pretty good. I dig that. You know, but look, nobody knows shit. Nobody can tell you what it means to be your archetype, what it means to be you embodied in form. And anybody that thinks they have anything for you is the king with no clothes. Game of Thrones. People piddling around fighting over kingdoms when the real war is coming, you know? You guys are all invited to be protectors of the realm. Let the children play the Game of Thrones. They can throw sand at each other and you know, fight over who gets the lunchbox. I mean, who cares? You know? So silly, you know. I mean, I just even to watch. I mean, and dude, you know, human design's just as messed up as anything else. Be very selective about who you're listening to, you know. And if it doesn't make sense, there may be a reason. If you can't quite get a handle on it, there might be a reason, you know. You meet life as yourself. That's it. And anybody, you know, yeah, is that guy interesting? Yeah, it's kind of cute. Yeah, you know, oh, that was a good answer. Yeah, sure. You know? And even though we realize that we're falling into these old conditioned patterns, like there's this battle going on inside of us, it's like we can't let go of the dissatisfaction and the comfort, you know, like, you know, for some people it's chasing women or boys or the other or love or spirituality. We can't let go of it. It's like I had a great question the other night in my Thursday night gig I do here, my little, you know, get together I do on Thursday nights where I check in with everyone's process around here, and it's like, they're like, well, how, you know, human design is the end of seeking. Human design isn't the end of seeking. Human design is potentially the end of seeking. Well, how, if you know how to make, I mean, these are the questions, very innocent questions, someone totally new. Well, how would you continue seeking if you knew how to make decisions with your body? And like, how would you keep looking? Because dude, we are surrounded by seekers, and make no doubt about it. When I say that, you know, there's spiritual seekers, there's money, dude, everyone is looking for something. Everybody is looking for something outside of themselves to satisfy themselves, to make themselves feel better about themselves. Like, I get so excited I start losing it. Can't you see it? That's actually what's happening, dude. In skydiving, we say my mind is writing checks, my body can't cash. It's like a lot of people actually say that those are their favorite times when I start losing it so bad that I just can't even stand it. Everybody's looking for something, and if you're looking for something, you're already lost. This person very innocently was like, well, human design would have to be the end of seeking. No, it's not. How many people know their human design are still going to the feet of gurus and marching to this and reading that, and it's not the end of seeking. And again, the great grace that Mary had is trying to instill upon me, which I am reluctantly having to admit she may have a fucking point. I'm getting sick of her being right, for the record, and you can write to her and say that I said that. I'm getting sick of her being right. I mean, I don't even agree with her. She's one of my greatest friends. I don't agree with her 70, 80% of the time. But there are some very big things that I see that, yes, time and wisdom do play a role. Then how do I know when the end of seeking? Like maybe the person gets the human design now and then they go see, Shantae, whoever, and then they go to on their, the astrology or, spirit guides and medicine wheels, and then, maybe it's just not their time. Maybe the seed germinates. Maybe later they realize, what was that whole thing about me being my own authority? And maybe the shaman doesn't know what's best for me. Maybe my dreams are the problem. I'm trying to follow something. Oh, wow. So maybe there is that timing piece. The one piece that I had, that's where I'm like, she has such grace with the timing. My design is this insatiable drive to push and push and push in order to awaken and perfect the form. It doesn't stop. There is no stop. I mean, I'm a projector, thank God, because I can't do it all day long. But, the 2 or 3 hours a day I can. It's like, it's like this drive to perfect and to help those around me perfect. And I see her just come in with this very caring aura of like, the timing's not up to us. So when I see people get this and then they just go off and follow their mind to some other whatever again, it's okay. And I'm not saying that there aren't other things out there that can help you. I'm saying to meet it correctly. If you meet it correctly, it's correct. It was correct for Marianne to go back into the ashram and go do some of her sannyasin practice just to have the experience. But she went there with herself. So it's not like it means you can't participate in any of these things. It's how you participate in these things. It doesn't matter what you do in your life. It's how you meet your life that's important. As you respect your nature, the old relationship and patterns change. People fall away. All of a sudden, you don't want to hang out. You don't care who did what or what's going on. I mean, there's just you. There's just you, guys. There's just you, and that pattern you used to be lost and trapped in. It falls away. It just does. And you start to see that there's something really for you that's not part of the program that's just happening around you. You start to stir. The witness starts to awaken out of the slumber. It's like, wait a second. What seemed like a dream is real. And what seemed real is a fucking dream. These people are completely and utterly asleep, lost, scared, frightened. Children. I look at the world, I see children. I don't get mad at a child for dreaming. There was that point where I talked about the anger, about the conditioning. That point where I was like angry about all of it. Now it's like, oh, it's just children being asleep. Okay. It's just kings trying to be kings. Okay. Kings with no clothes trying to be kings. Oh, that's their role in the movie. Even in human design. Oh, I'm the authority. Really? I don't think so. You're not my fucking authority. You know. And then finally we confront the most dangerous fear of all. The fear that I'm watching a good friend of mine face very bravely at the moment, and that is the fear of nothing. Waiting. Learning to trust the abyss. You know? I love this photo. I have already saved it so that I can just give it to people, because this is where I meet so many people. They're scared. What do you mean, wait? How could it be possible that the entire world is designed on figuring out what you're going to do and going out there and doing it? That's how it works. That's how it works. Yes, that's how it worked. That is how it worked for 70,000 years. This is only the third generation of humans to be alive, much less that human design's only been here 25 years. Forget that part, but only the third generation that's been alive versus 70,000 years prior, that we're not here to be strategically conquering this plane. We're here to wait and have life come to us. Even the manifester, which apparently overwhelming amount do not understand, regardless of their rank. The mental manifestors running around starting shit, causing shit, which is really cute. And, but dude, we're here to wait. This form, this body, this life, there's nothing to get. Any movement towards any type, you're fucked. And in that space of waiting, it's horrifying. The mind cannot survive in the now. The mind can only survive past and future. The mind, all of your open centers are the fuels, and they're going to the mind to terrorize you about the now. The only place that it actually exists, the mind is terrified of. And it's even more afraid if it doesn't do something, nothing will happen. The ultimate fear is no thing. Nothing. If I don't do it, who will? Confronting the no thing. That's where we're at, guys. Sharpen your swords. Be vigilant in your process. Know that no thing is the most horrifying thing your mind can imagine. It's scarier than werewolves, demons, vampires. Nothing means the mind dies. And the reality is the mind never dies. What happens is all this space gets created. You remember earlier we were talking about which way, how do I, all of a sudden you're not doing any of that anymore. You're not trying to figure out this life. And what happens is this incredible space gets created, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger. And you still have thoughts. The thoughts occur, but they're occurring in the space. They're not in front of your face saying, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. There's space in your life around your thoughts, even around your actions, because there's not this treadmill life that everyone's on. You start to depart from that. And I don't care if you're just sitting at your house watching TV. It doesn't matter to me at all. I mean, I highly recommended just smoking pot for the first 5 years of your experiment. Just to stay completely high. Bag of Cheetos, As long as you're not initiating, and you're going to be better off than people that are trying to live their experiment. I'm doing it. You're not doing shit. You're in your own way, But the no thing, this is where the real confrontation comes. And when you get here, this is a really scary state because you're completely mind-fucked at this point. I mean, the mind, it tries to go back to the old patterns, and those don't work because the body's intelligence has started to grow to the point of it realizes the mind's not in control. The mind still tries to control, of course, and it still gets over. It's gonna do something. It has something for you, but it doesn't know. It can't. It's unable to move your body. So this is where I say to all of you, look, if your mind says you should do it, don't do it. Just don't do it. At least for that moment, start scratching the record. Scratch the record up so it won't play that old patterned song again of how life works. Scratch, dude. If your mind says you should do something, don't. Simple. Now, if you're a generator, you can get some questions about it, You're a projector? Yeah, maybe somebody will invite you to do it, but dude, just if you're a manifester, definitely don't do it. A reflector shouldn't even have to say anything, but of course you're not going to do it. Our minds can't move us into action. We can't go forward, and we can't go backward. And then the next really important stage is the fucking thing shatters. Now, I don't want to pretend, just like the dark night of the soul, each of these things that I'm walking you through, you will have this same sequence of events happen to you again and again. This is basically what the deconditioning process looks like. I'm not saying it's exactly going to be this, but look for these points. It's like, look, there's one. Oh, yeah, John talked about number one. Me trying to figure out what I should do. Oh, yeah. Oh, there's number two. There's John. Oh, yeah, he said. Yeah, he said my mind was going to be the thing that built even bigger walls with human design to trap me. Okay, fuck, there it is. Oh, yeah, and then there's that time where I get pissed off and I can't stand the conditioning, so I'm starting to go to war with my own mind. Your mind's really, it's like there's an anger and you can't take what's going on around you and you start to withdraw. Wow. Huh. And now I can't listen to even the people that say they know about human design because it's so obvious to me they're full of shit. I can't take that either. And then, oh, wow, boom, my head blew up. Oh, wow. And then repeat. And then repeat. And then repeat. And then repeat. And 13, 14 years later, wherever I'm at now, then repeat. So any of you that think you're going to get there, that's one of these things that needs to happen to you. Because you're not getting anywhere. There's nowhere to get to. The passenger wakes up and realizes it's a roller coaster. You don't go to the park and scream. Well, some people do. You get on the roller coaster. I mean, the people that like roller coasters, that are enjoying the ride, they put their hands up and they enjoy the ride. The people that don't enjoy the ride, are screaming, terrified, and beating on the bars and trying to get off the roller coaster. I mean, but, too late. You're on the roller coaster. So your mind shatters. And it shatters about love. And it shatters about career. And it shatters about human design. And it shatters about anybody knowing. And then it shatters about you. And then it shatters about shattering. It's just like there's no end. Guys, remember, I mean, we're going through a year-long process of not adding a single thing to you, but relentlessly, week after week, stripping you of all the crap. There's no adding to. There's only residing perfectly as yourself because you're already perfect and letting the shit fall away. Deconditioning. Most people are in the business of reconditioning. Oh, this is how I deal with my open ego. Oh, this is how I deal with, it's just like, they're just addicts. Trading one drug for another. It's like, no, this is getting clean. Not working on it, not trying to fix it, not thinking there's a problem. And then you shatter. And then repeat. Mind trying to figure things out. Oh, shit, yeah. Oh, then getting lost. Well, I tried to figure it out using human design. Okay, fuck, okay, yeah. Oh, now I'm marching across the field to my own truth all by myself. Wow, I'm getting angry about my conditioning, angry about the conditioning of the people around me. I don't want to be around anybody. The people that tell me they think they know anything. Everyone looks like a Fruit Loop. I see myself falling back into the pattern. I break free of that again, and then boom, my mind blows up again. Oh, yeah. Then repeat. And you just keep repeating. And on the other side, each time you don't get what your mind wants, it gets a little clearer. Those muddy, gunked up centers that were completely clouding your view, the mud starts to come off the windows. You start to see a little better. The colors get a little brighter. Everything simplifies. Remember, the mind is what wants everything to be complex. The mind is what wants desperately to keep everything deeply, deeply complex. On the other side, it's very simple. For me, I'm invited. It's correct in that moment, or it's not. That's the end of the sentence, guys. For me, somebody moves towards me. They invite me to do something. For me, it's correct in that moment or not. That's the complexity of my life at this point. Now, in that, there's lots of things going on. I mean, because that invitation was correct, Got a little party this afternoon with, Randy Richmond and Mary Ann and Leela and Darmin and Alok and Mirabai. And dude, I'm so stoked. It's like, oh, wow, I was invited. It's correct. I go. There's things happening. But it's simple. So simple. There's nothing. There's nothing to do. There's nowhere to get. I am not trying to attain some state of overwhelming grace with the gods or whatever. The seven-centered kind of guru-y trip, all the Indian stuff and all the, even, Zen and all these things. Hey, look, if parts of that information help you and you meet it correctly as yourself, it's okay. But what you're trying to get to is it's simple. It's not complicated. And whether or not your destiny is to know this code and understand and being able to see the whole matrix and watch the numbers and how it works, or if it's like me and you just like looking out the window and going, wow, it's purple. That's a pretty purple. I mean, I can tell that, Hawk Sheila is probably laughing his ass off because I see the program, but I always saw the program. I didn't know what I knew it just wasn't me. Now it's kind of fun. I hang out with Lila every week or two, and she tells me what the program's doing, and I'm laughing. I go, yeah, I see it. I didn't realize. I always saw it. You know how I saw it? It wasn't me. I see my conditioning. It's not me. Neediness, goals, desires, wanting anything to be different than it is, not me. It's simple. Guys, that's what all of this is about. This whole thing, all of the intensity of stripping yourself, hacking away at your conditioning with a machete, one piece at a time, going through that whole process and having your mind blow to pieces, is about one thing and only one thing. You being able to relax and witness your life. And then there's so much space. So much space for creativity. So much space for whatever arises. Perhaps it's your destiny to go back and help others. Perhaps it's your destiny to go do something else. Who cares? It doesn't matter. I joke because I'm totally happy if everything just stopped and I'll go get a job at the Jeep company and take people on tours and just point at mountains, or a janitor, it doesn't matter. It's how I meet it. I don't know if there's any janitorial positions that only work 3 hours a day, but if there were, I could do that, Can I get the 3-hour shift? It doesn't matter. Simple. My life is simple. My mind is relaxed. I'm not trying to figure it out. The space of waiting may continue to be uncomfortable. I'm telling you, it was at least a decade before I got comfortable being uncomfortable. This is something that I talk about a lot, is that, look, the first 10 years is a lot about you learning to be comfortable being uncomfortable. The cells are changing. There's a mutation happening. The body is rearranging itself. It's a whole mutation. The chrysalis to the butterfly. It's not the butterfly or the caterpillar doing push-ups and becoming a cuter, prettier, stronger caterpillar. It's one thing dying and another thing awakening. They're two different things. It's different. Huh? So the space of waiting, guys, you gotta get comfortable being uncomfortable. I'm suggesting that to you. I'm sensitive every time I go, you have to do this. It's like, no, yeah. And the reality is, yeah, you do have to do it, but it's not my deal to tell you what you have to do. This is how I've seen it. This is what I see. This is what I see around me. This is what I see other people doing. Getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. Slowly but surely, you just relax. You relax. Remember, this is all about you learning to relax. All of this. No more anxiety. No more wondering if you're going to miss your life. You see cleanly, clearly, samurai sharp blade meeting life perfectly as yourself. Each moment, the gift is each moment. The gift is each step. Each correct movement. Elegance. The mind becomes more and more transparent. This is what I was saying, so much space around the mind. Here's the mind, in this huge field of space, and even the mind is the space is even creeping into the mind. So the thoughts can't even get momentum anymore. I have thoughts. Oh, you should do that. And I just watch that, you know. This is the grace that you get from being in this experiment, as you see that it's okay not to react to that first impulse of the mind. In fact, what you learn is to never react to the impulse of the mind. You don't need to do anything about it. What anyone else is doing around you is none of your business. I mean, you can be like me and think it's funny and laugh and go, Jesus. Wow. I mean, I find it very darkly humorous that the very people that are trying to teach differentiation are teaching anything but. You know, I find that I launch a personal assault on everyone. The whole thing. We're all total. I'm in this, by the way, if anyone thinks I'm separating myself. And we're all so totally fucked. And to me, that's funny. It's like, oh boy, we are so not in charge. We are so not in charge of what happens. You know? And all the people that think that we are, I mean, those people they're cute to me. You know, I get to giggle at them. You know? And this is what I'm saying is, like, dude, when you really get that you are so totally alone. There's no one to rely on, nor would you rely on anyone. There's no one that knows, nor would you ask for their opinion. You don't even want anybody there messing up your view. You see just how alone in your journey you are. That's what you get to with this. This is what's beautiful, completely unknown. Strategy and authority. How you meet life and where in your body you make decisions from. How do you meet your life with your body other than your mind? There's nothing else. Some of you may be very deeply immersed in understanding the matrix. Some of you may not care at all. It's fascinating to discover little pieces of information and go, oh my God, that just rattles my brain I love it. I love it. Everything else is unknown, guys. You are totally alone. Get it? There's no one can help you. This is self-empowerment at the deepest level. You empowered to be uniquely you and differentiated from all other things on the planet. Your form consciousness, your passenger's perspective, nothing else. And then when you really get it, for me, dude, that you see that if you had gotten what you thought you wanted, oh my God, what a disaster that would have been. I mean, that's my joke. Is like one of my favorite things is to see people get what they think they want and be completely unsatisfied with it. You relax, guys. That's about it. There's nothing really more to talk about. You become grateful to those, that person you wanted to marry. Oh my God, thank God. That career you thought was really important. Oh my God, thank God. The relationship you worked so hard to hold together. Thank God you let go of it. Or the thing that you never expect, the things you think you wanted, I look back, I don't even want to tell you the things I thought I wanted. It's hilarious to me now. It seems like I'm talking about someone else, to be a real estate entrepreneur like all of these guys I was working for, the developing land and building apartment buildings. And are you fucking managing all of that and having my house real fuck. Oh, Jesus, thank God. Now I'm paid to be a lunatic. Full time, biggest scam in the world. I get paid to be me. And that's, I think, the greatest scam we get to all pull. You really live this? People pay you to be you. I mean, I get offered to do other things every now and then, and I'm actually interested if one day I don't go back and do some, finance or corporate. It won't matter. I don't care. It's not like I have to do this. This is what's correct right now. But when you see that the very things you wish you would have gotten, oh, thank God you didn't get them. Oh my God. Life as it is. Enlightenment in a cup of coffee. You're just more relaxed. You're relaxed doing your part in the world. You're relaxed in your own strategy and authority. You meet it, you meet it with grace. You made it, with this precision of the samurai warrior, the Zen master, the Jedi Knight, the Elven Prince, whatever your trip is, the Elven Priestess. Hi, Lynette. You just feed it correctly as yourself. It doesn't matter. It's like, oh. And you just watch. It's so beautiful. Guys, I can't explain. I mean, I'm doing my best. Like, I close my eyes. I go into my inner vision. I know I'm going over. I know I'm going long. I just like, how can I transmit how precious this is to you? How can you even inspire someone to such a journey? I mean, it's what I show up every day and do my best to do. But until you're sitting here, like Marianne and I on the deck of this resort that she took me to, it's really cute. It's just giggling at, it's just, everything's funny. And nothing matters. I don't know how to transmit it to you. I'm doing my best. I hopefully, even in the recording, those of you download, you get it. It's like, I could just give you a little taste. Maybe for 1 second I can break through and give you that little taste. Or maybe I'm completely powerless, And to know that the gift of the journey is the journey. As we're not getting anywhere. We're not going anywhere. We're not... It's the journey. It's seeing the mind trying to figure out your life. It's seeing that you're trapped trying to strategically use some information to figure something out. It's seeing that all of a sudden you're very pissed off about this because it's like, God, I'm trapped again. It's seeing that I'm falling right back into the pattern. And then it's the mind exploding again. And then the relief that comes when you don't get what you thought you wanted. And then repeat. Just witnessing how perfectly one is connected with and taken care of by life is the epic reward. We're only the third generation of humans ever to be in existence that have this potential. Life takes care of us if we don't fight with it. That's what nine-centered form consciousness is. This is the epic reward of human design. This is the great journey of what it means to be alive as a nine-centered being. And it's yours. I mean, I love the fractals, the magic, and the colors. And this is what your real human design would look like if we could, if and when it's clean enough to shine like a gemstone, precious diamond reflecting oranges and blues and greens, different shades, the crystals of consciousness that are in your body that are flying through space, hurling through space to have an experience, to be in this journey, to be awake as yourself in this life, to not be afraid, to really be unattached to outcome. To be at peace. To not worry about what's going to happen next. To not even care. You know? I mean, I don't even care what happens next. Alright, man. Before I get too mushy over here, I love you guys. For those of you here in the lecture today, I'll take just a few moments, and we'll come back and we'll have our lecture or our discussion. And for those of you that are getting this by download, yes, we can help you. I have a team of fucking warriors, Jedi Knights that surround me. What can we do to help you? I'm training a whole new group now. I mean, we do stuff. We can help you. There's people, you have this still. Okay, yeah, it's not about me. It's about this knowledge getting out in the world. What can we do to help you on your journey? I can't even keep everything on the website, and I'm not getting on Facebook. So, if you need something, there's some help, email me, ask me, email the office. We'll refer you. Well, it doesn't, we give stuff away free every day. Oh, here, this will help you. I mean, we're here to train the Gandalfs and the Obi-Wans and the Legolases and the Luke Skywalker, Boromir, I mean, this is what we do. Do you get it? Be in touch. This is the Martial Arts Training Academy. And we can help you a little or we can help you a lot.
I am through with you.